Welcome agents, today I've got a bit of a different video. I reached out to a couple Division content creators that some of you may or may not be familiar with and asked them what they thought about the Division 2. Now I thought this would be an interesting video and I'll be offering up my own thoughts on the Division 2 at the end. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button below, subscribe for dedicated Division content, and let's do this. So I reached out to a couple Division content creators, 3 to be exact, who I enjoy watching, have a lot of time and respect for, just to get their opinion on the Division 2. Now we've got Krejci, EasyTV and Raw Talent in that order, followed by my own thoughts. Now each creator gave very brief thoughts on the Division 2, touching upon the current state of the game and their opinion on the future. I want you guys to go to the description of this video and check out all 3 of those, and their links will be down there. Let's start though with Krejci, who had this to say.
What's good, y'all, man? It's Krejci, and in terms of how I feel about the Division 2 right now and the state of the game, I kind of want to stay optimistic about the whole situation. I'm not gonna say the game is perfect in any way. I'm not gonna say the game is finished, but I do know that we have a whole year of content ahead of us. Of course, there's a lot of things wrong with the game right now: armor glitches, the loot cave stuff, and it's just a big crooked picture that needs to be straightened out, you know. And if they've learned anything from the first game, I think they'll be able to make the right decisions along the line, probably after fucking up some more. But you know, it's all trial and error when it comes to this kind of stuff. So I have to kind of just stay optimistic about the situation and be positive. In my honest opinion, even though the Division has its issues and its wrinkles that need to be ironed out, at the end of the day, it's still unlike any game I've ever played, ever, you know, and it's still probably one of the best and, you know, funnest games I've ever played in terms of the things that we're able to do in game. But hopefully they're gonna get it right this time around. Don't give up on the game yet. You know, if you guys are thinking about, you know, taking it back to GameStop or uninstalling it, don't do it yet. Just ride out this whole first year of content, see what they have to offer. If they still haven't made the necessary changes, then I might even be up out of here, you know. So yeah, that's all, man.
So thank you very much to Krejci for that. Next up we've got EasyTV, who had this to say.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy EasyTV. I'm doing a response for Epic Slayer's video. What do Division content creators think about Division 2? Simple answer for me. I think the Division 2 is a great game. I think it is good. There's a lot of stuff that we still need to touch on. We need to fix. Now there's a new bug out, of armor glitch and all this stuff. A lot of that stuff's not supposed to be happening, coming from, you know, the Division 1 and knowing what state of the game that was in with glitches and bugs and God mode glitches and stuff like that. But that can easily be fixed. Like I said, the game overall is good. PvE is good. The only thing I don't like about, I'm gonna speak on PvE and PvP. PvE, they're not coming out with enough content fast enough for me. It's like the same farming stale stuff over and over and over. Yeah, like we did get the raids, but the raids are ran through real quickly now. Even though I haven't did it, but I've seen people do it. A lot of the loot is not as good, as rewarding that I thought it would be for the raid. But overall, like strongholds, control points, anything like that, it's all been good for me. But PvP, I am a PvP player. One thing about PvP that I do not like is the mechanics. It's still wonky. It's still slow. It's still sluggish. When you throw grenades, it's like a pause. When you're trying to run, you know, straight for side to side or anything, not even chicken dancing like how you did on Division 1, it's not as smooth. Division 1 had it where everything was just like, it was on point. Everything was snappy, even though it did come with chicken dancing, but everything was snappy. You can get out of, you know, cover faster, do certain things faster. Mechanics are way faster, and we kind of need to get back to that point for Division 2. Right now, I don't see PvP prospering in this game just because of the mechanics theirself. It's just like now in this meta, whoever can out-heal the other person wins. And it shouldn't, you know, be like that. It should be a skill gap, you know? But other than that, I really don't have no problem with the game. I appreciate Epic Slayers reaching out to us content creators to get our feedback. But this your boys EasyTV, and I'm out.
Thank you to EasyTV for that. Next up, and last but not least, of course, we've got Raw Talents. You had this to say.
Hi guys, Raw Talents here. So first off, I just want to say a massive thank you to Epic Slayers for giving me the opportunity for a few minutes just to tell you what I think about Division 2. Now, I'm going to try and get through this as fast as I can because I could talk forever on the issues with Division 2. Now, first off, I'm going to start with the PvE. Now, the positives, I'd say, of the PvE, which I think the majority of people will agree with me, there has been some improvements. And I think, for example, the side missions, they almost feel like a main mission. And they've really went to work on the side missions. You know, they have been improved a lot. And then we've also got the challenges for the hunter masks. We've got the projects that keeps people busy. We have the raid, which the mechanics for me is fantastic. You know, you need the synergy in a team, and it really shows how good you are in teamwork. The artwork, you know, the artwork has always been a massive plus for me in Division. I think they don't get enough credit, the artists for the Division, because I'm not even from the US, but people tell me how like for like the structures are. And then also we have maybe a somewhat additional character customization. It's not drastic, but it is an improvement. Now we've got, you know, tattoos, which for some reason you can only put on one arm. I don't know why. But yeah, the cons for PvE, for me, this is my opinion. At this stage in the game, the main missions are getting repetitive, just like in Division 1. I don't want to play any more main missions over and over again for challenges and for projects. That's just my opinion. And also, unfortunately, you know, the PvE side, also the PvP is still riddled with bugs. Whether it's the hunters not dropping keys, you know, you make a loadout and you can't even select it, or the unbearable audio glitches. Now, the audio glitches is a big one for me, especially in the raid. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but we have to listen out for alarms and sirens, and if the audio's bugged by that time, it's mission over. So, yeah, the PvE is improved, but it still has its massive flaws. Now, over to the PvP, which I'm more known for. I'm going to surprise you because I don't mind the mechanics of PvP. I PvP every single night. When I'm in a squad and it's 4v4, sometimes I kind of enjoy it. But that doesn't leave any untold issues. The Occupied is a good idea, but why they didn't introduce the Manhunt and the Rogue system is beyond me, because it literally consists of matchmaking for the Dark Zone, going out, killing someone on the checkpoint door, and then matchmaking again, and it's a vicious cycle. Now, if my team had the Manhunt, if we had that implemented into the game, we could then move into the middle of the Dark Zone, and we could control the fight. And then you also, you know, the people who are going to approach you, and they're going to hunt you down, they're looking to do PvP. Not just these people who are coming out the door, they're interested in what's going on, and then they get killed and disappear. So the PvP as well, you know, the normalised and skirmish. I like the normalised for farm and gear because the NPCs in the Occupied, they hit harder than the raid. I'm sorry, but they do. They hit so hard. But I don't really want to go. I don't go into conflict anymore. I don't do it because at this stage in the game, it's took me so long to min-max my gear, and I'm not going in there for it to be normalised. Even PvP in the normalised DZ, I don't really do it too often because I don't like it. I like hybrid builds. I like having a lot of skill. I go into normalised, my build is completely ruined. I lose over 2,000 skill, and I do not like it. So yeah, there's also more bugs that frustrate me in PvP. I'll try and just cover them really quickly. It's like if I'm fighting someone and in my face they go into cover and put an armor kit on, where that sustained damage is going is beyond me, because I'm shooting him in the face and he's just immune to damage and he gets an armor kit off. You know, you have the basic lag bugs. It could go on forever. But yeah, that's my view on Division 2, and thank you Epic Slayers for giving me this opportunity. and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Okay, so there you go. Now I'm going to give you my brief opinion and touch upon some things that have been said before. The Division 2 is light years ahead of what the Division offered at launch, without a shadow of a doubt, and that's important to remember. The game is absolutely beautiful, with some of the best AI, when it works of course, that I've seen in any video game before it. Now, it's pretty easy for me to say that if you want a game that will give you value for money, then the Division 2 absolutely achieves that and more. You'll find that there is more than enough content to keep you busy, and the grind to level 500 gear score is a pretty long one. But not just as a content creator, but a huge fan of the Division, I think the current state of the game is an issue for a couple of reasons. Now, as you've heard from others and from myself in previous videos, the armor glitch is still a problem, destroying normalized PvP and the conflict PvP game mode. In terms of PvP, the game is at its worst in these modes, especially conflict. Conflict for me is quite possibly the most boring, underwhelming PvP experience I've seen. The Division is not a competitive shooter, but I feel like the devs made changes to push PvP towards this, like the stationary medkit for example. Now, as unbalanced as the Division PvP was, it was at least fun most of the time. Now, I simply do not play Conflict in the Division 2 anymore, but I am optimistic that changes could be made to make this mode fun again, and that's what it's all about, ultimately. Now, we know the devs are going to be focusing on PvP very soon. As for the Dark Zone, it's still not the Dark Zone from the Division, but it's better than what it was like at launch, and recent changes like fewer brackets, for example, have moved this mode in the right direction, and we know further changes are coming to the Occupied Dark Zone, for example, which will enhance the experience as well. Its main failures are due to the overall PvP combat experience, which is lackluster to be nice. The game needs a serious overhaul in some departments like PvP, skills, and mods, to name the most important ones. These are all core to the experience of the game, and all of them are underwhelming and some of them convoluted. With that said, the game has been out less than 3 months. The devs still every week come out and state of the game and talk about most issues and try and clear them up. Now, sometimes I do have to remind myself that I'm not a game developer and I have absolutely zero idea what needs to be done in-house to fix the issues. The same way that a lot of people have no idea what goes into my job, my full-time job, so they cannot comprehend why some things are done a certain way. So with that in mind, yes, it's frustrating that we have the armor bug and the loot cave and all these other things, but I don't for a minute think the devs are not trying to fix these issues. Will other issues like these arise in the future? Probably, but as long as the devs communicate with us, then I'm happy to wait for them to be fixed. Overall, I'm very optimistic for the future of the Division 2. The raid, whilst just a DPS check, was somewhat new and very challenging. The feedback from this should be used as the building blocks for the next raid. Now think back to how the Division launched and where it was in patch 1.7. We know the devs have the ability to create a fantastic experience, whether that be for a PvE or a PvP player. I do think we need summer out soon to kind of whet our palate for future content. Maybe a sneak peek at the new DC Outskirts Expedition episode would be good, so maybe we'll get that at E3, which will be live in just over a week. I'm going to leave it there though. I want you guys to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Sometimes it can be a real burden creating content for the Division 2, or any game for that matter, because you overanalyze, when you should just be casually enjoying the experience. With that said though, I'm excited for the future of this game and remain hopeful that PvP will one day be fun, because as much as I love PvE, PvP will always be my go-to mode. Thanks if you made it to the end of this video, thanks for all of your support, and until the next one, Epic out.